Alright. Didn't quite work that, did it? No good at accents. Anyway, we're here just on the outskirts of Bacup and not too far from Rossendale. And we're here visiting Lee Quarry to take you guys with us, and hopefully we're going to find the filming locations that were used in one episode of the Peaky Blinders. And it was in season 6, episode 3, and the title of that episode was Gold. I think, if my memory serves me right, I think the first episode aired on the 12th of September 2013. And I am ashamed to say I am extremely late to the party. For whatever reason, considering that I love my history, I love the Victorian era, for some reason I just never got around to watching the Peaky Blinders right from the very beginning. And it's only these last, I'd say 6 to 8 months, when I've started watching a lot more. I've seen a lot of TikTok videos, a lot of scenes on YouTube, but we have purchased 6 seasons on Blu-ray, so I'm kind of binge watching them at the moment. And I thought, well, I knew for a fact that one of the episodes, which, as I said at the start, was, I think it was episode 3, season 6, and it was called Gold. And I know it was filmed here, exactly where we are right now. And when I say it was filmed here, obviously not all, the entire episode. There were scenes which took place here at Lee Quarry, where Cillian Murphy's character, Thomas Selby, came to find some gypsies. And we're getting to what that story was about and the characters involved in those scenes over here at Lee Quarry when we get to one of the opening scenes. Now, I do have to forewarn people that this little video today will probably contain quite a few spoilers. So if you're like me and you're late to the party and you're yet to watch this one episode in particular, then obviously you may not want to watch this video today. And I don't want to discourage people from watching our videos, but we do have to warn, it will obviously contain quite a few spoilers. We're going to line up some shots from quite a few scenes out of this episode. We've got the iPad with us today. We've got some stills from the episode, like I said, and we are going to line up some of the main shots from the episode that took place here. So like I said, it will contain quite a few spoilers. Now, we are approaching the actual first scene now. And like I said, for those who have watched the Peaky Blinders and for those that are fans of it, hopefully you will recognise it. Now, in this episode, Thomas Shelby had sought help, or for somebody to may be able to help his sick daughter Ruby, who has been hospitalised with some virus, some disease, and it is slowly killing her. Now, he believes that a curse had been placed on his family, on the Shelbys, by some gypsy. So he's made his way over to this location in the show to search for a lady known as Esme Shelby Lee. And Esme was played by the actress Amy Fionn Edwards. I think that's how you pronounce her middle name, Fionn. And he's come here to see if she's to blame for the actual curse, because Esme was married to Thomas's brother John. Now, the curse itself, Thomas believes, has been placed on his daughter Ruby. And if I remember rightly, I think she's 7 years old. So obviously it's his young daughter. Now, from what I have gathered in the Peaky Blinders, whilst Thomas Shelby himself could well be quite, is psychotic the right word? But even though he could be cold, calculated and he wouldn't bat an eyelid if he had to kill somebody. I think he always had a kind of soft spot for children. Obviously his own goes without question, but he also seems to have a soft spot when it comes to children in the show, from what I'm picking up. So like I said, it's episode 3, season 6, called Gold, and it's here, like I said, where Thomas has made his way to search for the gypsies, and especially Esme. Now Lee Quarry now is used for mountain bikers, so we may get the odd distraction from one or two whilst we're here. I can see 2 now in front of me on motorbikes, but hopefully that won't detract from what we're trying to do today. So if you hear any background noises, it's just some kids on the bikes. It is a mountain bike area as well, so we might have 1 or 2 mountain bikers themselves making their way around. Right, well I can see the first location coming up now, and we'll get more into this scene in particular once we get there. This is one of the first scenes that we're going to talk about now, and it's here where Thomas Shelby first arrives in his car and is making his way along this stretch of road. Now we have to bear in mind that the GoPro we're using, and obviously the cameras at the time, totally different, so some of these shots might seem slightly out. For example, if you look at where we are now, you can see this quarry in this hillside here, and then obviously the one to its left. In this still I'm going to put over, you will notice Thomas Shelby's car round about here, but you will notice the water's edge. Now obviously, again, because of the camera lens, we're not going to get it absolutely perfect, but right in front of us now, where the quarry outline is, this is roughly where Thomas Shelby would have parked his car whilst making his way up to the gypsy caravan site. Now this is another view from the same angle, the outcrop of the mountainside and the one on the left. This time we've tried to implement the water just here, and like I said, Thomas Shelby would have parked his car somewhere along here. Like I said, because of the camera lenses we can't get it exact, so we'll try our very best throughout this video to line up some shots for you guys, but you can clearly make out that this ridge here is exactly where one of the opening scenes of that episode took place. If we look to our left, you'll notice, and I'm not sure if I'm really pointing at, because it's hard to see through the GoPro, but if you notice this outline of this rocks just over Thomas Shelby's left hand shoulder, they're still there, and the same with the ones on the right. And like I said, it's here where Thomas makes his way to the actual gypsies themselves, and again you can still make out the outline of the quarry sides. So we're going to try and match it up again as best as we can, and hopefully you guys can see the actual rock formations as they were back in that episode. Now as we pan around here, as you just see me walk, Thomas Shelby walked up this path, and this is where he encountered the gypsies for the first time. And as we pan around, you can see the outcrop and the area where all this took place. Here you would have had one of the little caravans, I think it was a yellow one from memory, but you would have had a yellow one here. And like I said, you'd have had 3-4 men who approached Thomas Shelby from here, and again we'll line up the shots best we can. Now this scene I didn't think I'd be able to find, but you'll see Esme and Thomas on horseback walking along the ridgeway of the quarry. Now as you can imagine, this quarry is quite expansive, it's quite big, so I couldn't really pinpoint it when I was looking for this, but we've literally just noticed this tree here sticking outside of the actual rock face and one further back. I think the scene in the Peaky Blinders episode is this where they're walking up. I think it is that ridgeway, because you will notice, like I said, this tree actually coming out of the wall. It's like a silhouette, if you will. So I'm pretty confident to say that this indeed is that hill line where Cillian Murphy's character, Thomas, as well as obviously Esme, were on horseback coming along here. So that's a bit of a bonus for the video today. Now roughly, I'd say probably not too far from where Vicky stood, one of the gypsy clan made his way this way. I think he was holding either a baseball bat or a piece of timber in his hand, and he's swinging it around, and he literally turns around to Thomas in not so nice way who he was. So as we spin round, you've got Thomas, who then stood round about here, and he takes out his Colt revolver in quite a menacing reply, basically saying he is the man that owns this Colt. I don't know if it's a Colt 45, and the bullets within it. Now I do hope the sound quality isn't affecting this video too much. It's extremely windy, even though the weather forecast today said it might be overcast but not much wind. But it is like a wind tunnel where we are, and it's just whistling round us, so I do hope it's not interfering too much. Now shortly after that scene where Thomas, he kind of threatens the gypsy clan with his Colt revolver, he asks where their leader is, where their boss is, and this is when Esme herself arrives, and she comes walking through a crowd of people through here, and she tells her crew to put the guns down, or she tells Thomas to put his gun down, getting mixed up there, and he puts it back into his suit, and they have a bit of a chinwag, a bit of a talk, and she wants to know why he's here, and he says he needs help. He needs Esme's help. He wants to know if she placed a curse on the Shelby family, and indeed in doing so onto his daughter. Now in the episode itself, Thomas will do anything for his family, especially his daughter. Like I said, she's 6-year-old, 7-year-old, she's dying, she's in hospital in this episode, and like I said, he's doing his best to try and lift this curse, and he would pay any amounts of money. And in one scene in particular, which we're going to get to shortly, and I think it's over in that direction, he actually does say to Esme that he would sacrifice everything to lift the curse, to make his daughter better. He would apologise for all the sins and all the crimes and all the murders that he had done in his lifetime, all the bad things he had done. So Esme talks to Thomas here, explaining that obviously, yes, she's still annoyed at him, she's still pissed off at him basically, because her husband John, he'd basically been a Peaky Blinder himself, and he lost his life in a previous episode. Again, spoilers in this. They would make their way over to here, to this section, and they would talk some more, and from here I think they made their way over to, I call them the Twin Peaks, but there's 3 peaks of mounds, which is again further in that direction, and we're going to get to that shortly. That one took us quite a bit of research to try and find. We think we know where it is, so we're going to make our way there shortly. But it is most certainly here where the majority of the quarry scene in Peaky Blinders season 6 episode 3 took place, and it's here where Thomas would sit down on some rocks talking to Esme. Now it is crazy to think that, or to know I should say, not think, but to know that Cillian Murphy himself walked these exact steps to film this scene. And it's one of the saddest episodes, I feel, that I've seen so far in the Peaky Blinders. And believe me, there's quite a few sad and harrowing scenes in the actual show. But for me, because obviously we've got children ourselves and he's doing anything he can to save his daughter, I won't spoil the ending of that episode. You'll have to watch it for yourselves. That's one thing I won't spoil. But it is such a sad episode. But going back to what I was originally saying, it's crazy to think that, like I say, an actor such as Cillian Murphy walked this entire pathway here and made his way through that bit of an entrance to the gypsy site. He parked his car just slightly down where Vicky stood now. He drove just that little short distance, but yet with movie magic, it's like he's been driving for hours. You know, it's quite incredible really what they can do to make these shows come alive, to make these scenes feel so real. Now we're going to make our way to, which I found the most difficult to find in location terms of this video. I've nicknamed it the Twin Peaks, the Three Peaks if you will, because it's the graveyard scene. Now those who have watched the episode itself would know what I mean when I say the graveyard scene. And again, these are spoilers, and I did proclaim this right at the very start, I should say, but after he spoke to Esme, just on that rock face just there, they got on horseback, they made their way over, which we think is that hill line, but it's not there where we're going to go. It's in this direction. And it's there that we see a load of wooden, handmade crosses, if you will, which are placed into the ground. It's a bit of a misty atmosphere, it's quite dark, it's gloomy, but it has to be for it to go in sync with the whole episode. But it did take some spotting on Google Maps to find it, but we do feel like we have located the spot. So we're going to go there now, and then we'll talk some more about that scene once we get there. Now I know there's a massive cult following when it comes to Peaky Blinders, and like I said, I'm becoming a bit of a member of that cult following at the moment. This video, like I said, there might be some inaccuracies, but we are trying our very best to show you guys just one filming location out of, is it 6 seasons that they've made? Like I said, this is on our doorstep. This is literally 15-20 minutes away from where we live. But from what we gather, we've not come across any other videos on YouTube showcasing Lee Quarry, and like I said, where this one episode in particular was filmed. So we thought we'd come out and do it ourselves. So please, by all means, if you are a massive fan or you're just a fan in general of Peaky Blinders and historical dramas set obviously Victorian and pre-Victorian days, please share the video, please comment down below and give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe either to the channel, because we are kind of branching out, doing other things other than just the Victorian crimes and the darker side of life, if you will. Every so often we will throw videos such as this in. People seem to like them, so we'll carry on doing these type of things. But yeah, please share this video. Please tell your family and friends and colleagues, and especially if you know people who are Cillian Murphy fans. Again, he's got a massive fan base, so any help you guys can give us with this video, and if you like it, like I said, please share it. It will mean a lot to me and Vicky. Right, we're going to close in now on the Twin Peaks, if you will, or the Three Peaks, I should say. I keep saying Twin Peaks, Vic, but it's not, is it? No. It's Three Peaks, the Three Peaks. We'll make our way there now, like I said, and this is where the graveyard scene was filmed. Now we're at the scene which I think is the gypsy graveyard. We're basing it on this hill line here, or this little ridge, and then you've got this one, and then you've got this third one. There is a fourth to the side of us, but it's this one, the one behind it, and more importantly this one. And this we feel is the scene where you'll see Thomas walking along here in the mist looking for one grave in particular. We'll try and again match it up, but again I keep saying it's so difficult, because is it the fisheye lens scenario type of thing where obviously professional cameras can make things look closer or further away than what they are? GoPros, unfortunately, we can't do that. So we've got to base our judgment on this, and this bit of a hill line, if you will. with Thomas Shelby walking across somewhere around about here. But like I said, that hill line will look closer on the image, but this we feel is most certainly that scene. Now we've just been reading some notes about his daughter Ruby, Thomas's daughter I should say, and apparently it seems like she had tuberculosis of the left lung, and this is why obviously it was a horrible disease and one which he wanted help with. But he was superstitious, and those times they were superstitious, so he just thought, like I said, it was a gypsy curse placed on him. But when Esme brings him to this location, the gypsy grave if you will, that is when well, a little bit more is revealed of Esme and obviously the history between the pair. Now as we're walking our way towards the final few locations, we've noticed this big hole here that drops right down. Okay, like Vicky said, it could well be any old hole, but it doesn't seem to deviate to an angle, it goes straight down. Could this have well been where one of the props of either a cross was, or could it have been where one of the fake trees were placed? Because like I said, all this was used for the graveyard scene in that episode. So yeah, that was an interesting find, if it is like a marker from one of the props. Obviously it could be anything like I said, but it's nice to think it could be a place where a prop was put. Now we're going to make our way just to this area to where, like I said, some scenes would unravel, and Esme would talk more to Thomas about the gypsy curse and whatnot. So where we were stood 2 minutes ago, just over there, pointing out this hill just here, this is the path we think Cillian Murphy would have walked in that scene to make his way to here. Now obviously things have changed since it was filmed. The cameras maybe would have placed around that area where Vicky is now. She's walking in the footsteps of Cillian himself. But yeah, it's an amazing piece of footage because it's so somber, it's so dark. You know, and the story that unravels about his daughter. And this is where he actually says to Esme that he'd definitely give everything back and he'd make right of the wrongs that he'd done over the years of, obviously, one of the Peaky Blinders and a gangster, because he did cause so much death and horror to a lot of people throughout the seasons. But yeah, to be here where that episode was filmed here at Lee Quarry, it's an amazing feeling again. Just like when we did the short video and we put boots on the ground, and I said that a lot in videos recently, don't I? But to walk the footsteps that Cillian Murphy himself walked a few years ago on this very path, this very spot, it's brilliant to be here and film it at last. Now I can't be 100% certain, but I feel that this mound here is in one scene where Cillian is walking along this way. It's very dark, it's very misty. You've got trees, the fake trees that have obviously been put in place, the props as you will. But it is a grim scene, it's very dark, it's very somber. But I've got a feeling this outline here is that the same one. And what I'll do, I'll put a screenshot over it now. It's difficult, and I'm lining up this hill line here alongside this, but it's the curvature, it's how steep this incline is, which is making me feel this is the actual location, and perhaps where I'm stood now is where the camera crew were. And if it is the same spot, like I said, Thomas Shelby or Cillian Murphy himself was walking along here. If I'm wrong and people know the exact spot, please don't feel scared to comment down below and put us right, because we can always come back and do another video to this one. And another scene I could be way off the mark, I think took place around here when Esme and Thomas, they take a left through here. Now it's full of water now, but I'm looking at these stones that are in the water itself, that goes all the way around. But they do disappear up in that direction, which will make sense because, like I said, you've got the hill line here, which Thomas walked past. You've got this pointer hill thing, this mound going on here. So all this, without a doubt, is where the graveyard scene was filmed. But that is jumping out at me, and it's this broken path here, which I think I have got a screenshot of, which if I have, I'll put it over. But this kind of, it rings bells or alarm bells in my head that it is round this area. I'm pretty certain they walked up in that direction. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is the area where I were really looking forward to most to visit. And I jokingly said to Vicky coming up, perhaps we might find some props left behind from when they were filmed here, because there would have been a lot of them. And we had a lot of, like I say, fake trees. I mentioned it once or twice so far. You had a lot of crosses with ribbons tied in them and whatnot. So I thought, you never know, they might have left something behind. It might have been left forgot to be picked up by the crew members, but we can't find anything. I've had a quick wander around and I can't find out. It's a shame really, but it was just a hope. There is one scene where Tommy, or Thomas I should say, is ripped a cross out the ground and he's thrown it because he's so frustrated and so upset that obviously he's trying to get answers for his daughter. Now Esme herself says she can help, and she tells Tommy that she can definitely help him, and he says, I'll pay you £10,000. She turns the money down. She says money is no relevance, money is a bit risky at the moment. Obviously, you know, it might be worthless in any time. So she wants gold. So Thomas, he turns around and says, gold it is, or gold it shall be. Now, like I said, I'm not going to give too much away about the ending of that episode, because like I said, even though this video does contain spoilers, so I don't want to spoil it too much and give the ending away. But it is probably one of the saddest episodes, like I said earlier, that I have seen in all the Peaky Blinders that I've watched. And like I said, there's a lot of sad parts in the entire show itself. But yeah, so pleased to have made it here to the filming location of season 6 episode 3, and like I said, it's called Gold. I think it is on YouTube. If you go on YouTube and look for that episode, you will be able to find it, and hopefully you guys yourselves can match up some of these locations. You know, if you guys live in areas yourselves where Peaky Blinders was filmed, some of the locations, let me know down below, because if we can get to them, we'll do the same there. We'll try and line some shots up. I think Hebden Bridge, that area, Yorkshire way, there was quite a few episodes filmed there, but I think one of the mills, which I wanted to go to, has sadly since been burnt down. So yeah, we can't make it to that location. Well, I suppose we could, but I don't think there'd be much to see. But yeah, comment down below if you guys have got any recommendations, or if you live close to where, like I said, the Peaky Blinders itself was filmed. And like I said, we might be able to come down and do a follow-up video. That is all from Lee Quarry here on the outskirts of Bacup and the filming location of the Peaky Blinders. Now, if you've enjoyed this video as much as me and Vicky have enjoyed putting it together for you guys, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below, especially if you are fans of the Peaky Blinders and perhaps Cillian Murphy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's always videos coming pretty much every week. If we're not out filming real life crimes or darker subject matter, we'll be out doing things such as this. I personally love filming locations. It doesn't matter if it's a film, TV show, documentary, it doesn't really matter. I just love finding and trying to locate where these things were caught on camera. So don't forget to do all those things, and like I said, comment down below. We love interaction with our subscribers. But in the meantime, as I always say, guys, I want you to take care, look after yourselves, and we will be back soon with another tale from our dark but glorious past. But like I said, if it's not dark but glorious past, it may be another video such as this. So take care, guys, look after yourselves, and like I said, we'll be back soon.